Ladies and gentlemen, this year's grand medal winner for mediation, Ban Ki-moon. Congratulations.
Thank you for your very kind introduction, Jenny. His Serene Highness Prince Albert II of Monaco, Professor Lisa Levin, recipient of the Science Medal, and also Violent Pellicero, PhD Best Awards, congratulations. Your Excellencies, distinguished ministers, ambassadors, and scientists, and also Dr. Robert Calcarno, CEO of the Oceanographic Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great privilege and a pleasure for me to stand before you this morning and humbly accept the Prince Albert I Grand Medal. I'm incredibly grateful for this esteemed honor, and it is quite meaningful to follow in the footsteps of so many previous luminary awardees in this critical field. My special recognition goes to His Serene Highness Prince Albert II of Monaco for his visionary patronage of this award, as well as for his long-time advocacy efforts to support of oceans, environment, and sustainable development. I am deeply grateful for Your Highness for carrying always on your badge of Sustainable Development Goals, and I myself, as a former Secretary General, I'm also always carrying this passage just to raise the awareness and ownership of the full implementation of Sustainable Development Goals. I also take this opportunity to commend the work of Oceanographic Institute, Foundation Albert I Prince of Monaco, the critical efforts you undertake to continue the guiding legacy of Albert I Prince of Monaco are essential as we collectively strive to expand essential understanding, affection, and protection of our oceans. Albert I Prince of Monaco was a trailblazing leader, explorer, scientist, champion of peace, and reformer. He cared deeply about our natural world and interrelations between humans, oceans, and marine life. And he has, ahead of his time, in drawing greater attention to environmental conservation and ocean sustainability. It is amazing to understand his long vision at longer than 100 years ago, the importance of oceans. In this connection, I simply couldn't be more proud to receive this award named after such a pioneering and respected legend in the field of oceanography. My deepest gratitude goes to Oceanographic Institute, Foundation Albert I, Prince of Monaco, for this very special honor. Your Highness, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, during my 10-year service at the United Nations as a Secretary General, I strived to extend and execute my leadership duties by advancing the power of multilateralism and partnerships and promoting the spirit of global citizenship. This was critical in bringing the entire world together to agree to the United Nations Agenda 2030 and its 17 goals of Sustainable Development Goals, as well as the Paris Climate Change Agreement, both in 2015. These were two of the most ambitious and far-reaching visions and commitment and promises the United Nations has ever presented to the humanity of this world. And our planet, and our earth, and our oceans, and this is the one which we must care deeply for the future we want. But global partnerships, including the active participation of governments, NGOs, the private sector, civil society groups, and other key stakeholders are necessary if we are to deliver on the United Nations development and climate goals. There is no country, no individual, however powerful or resourceful one may be, can do it alone. We have to forge a strong partnership among governments, business communities, and civil societies. And there are many ways the scientists, the economists, and civil societies can contribute to this. This is particularly true with regard to ensuring the sustainability of our oceans. Oceans are a fundamental element of our Earth ecosystem, and healthy oceans are essential for sustaining a healthy planet and healthy lives. Oceans regulate our climate and spread nutrients to other ecosystems critical to plant and animal life. They are the beating heart of our planet, as well as the beating heart of our future. For humans, oceans offer a wide range of benefits, including natural resources and recreation, as well as food and jobs that provide sustenance to billions of people on Earth. Given how critical oceans are to the health of our planet and the prosperity of humans around the world, they are represented in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals as Goal 14, if I quote, conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development, end of quote. While some progress has been made on this goal since the SDGs were unveiled in 2015, our oceans remain extremely vulnerable to degradation from pollution, overfishing, and climate change. You have just seen the video images where these animals under the sea, they are threatened by all plastics and other waste which human beings are just throwing. This is terrible. And I was struck when we found the vinyls and the bottles, the deepest place of the ocean, Mariana Trench. This is about 11 kilometers down the sea. There we were able to see all these plastics. Ladies and gentlemen, the recently released United Nations IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report on oceans and cryosphere paint a distressing picture of the expanding climate crisis-related threats to our oceans. Indeed, the report details that sea levels are rising 3.6 millimeters annually, which is almost double the 20th century rate. Nearly 1/3 of the human-caused CO2 emissions have been observed by our oceans since the 1980s, killing scores of marine species and expanding acidifications. And extreme sea level events, previously once every 100-year occurrence could now transpire each and every year from today until 2050. Under this backdrop, the actions we take now and in the coming years will have an oversized impact on the trajectory of our oceans for centuries moving forward. While this window of opportunity to guide our oceans and planet on a viable and sustainable path ahead may be closing, we must not give up on our multi-stakeholder partnership efforts to this end. We must advance our alliances in strong action to urgently curb emissions and restrict rising global temperature rise below 1.5 degrees Celsius, as was strongly recommended by IPCC in October 2018. I believe that coming together in action-oriented partnership to achieve the United Nations climate and sustainable development goals can help bring us together in this era of uncertainty and simultaneously pave the path to increased security, responsible growth, and greater equality. Your Serene Highness, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the state of our oceans is essential to ensure the future viability of both our planet and humanity. We have to have wisdom and action to be able to live harmoniously with our oceans and our human being, in a broader sense with our nature. Prince Albert I understood this as he navigated his great ships and innovatively studied the ocean over a century ago. Now, more than 100 years later, we owe it to our future generations to take the requisite action to protect our oceans for the next 100 years and many, many thousand, tens of thousands years beyond. We all share common destiny, grounded in sustainability, peace, and prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, let us expand our unified efforts to both honor the leadership and legacy and vision of Prince Albert I and realize this shared destiny for all in the years to come. I thank you for this great honor, and I am committed to work together with you to make this world better for all, particularly sustainable oceans. Thank you very much. Merci.